Hello! Welcome to this video tutorial on the geoMusica Synth. The Synth comes with the package of geoMusica and opens automatically when you open the package. The main purpose of the Synth is to help people that don't have any type of MIDI, hardware or software to hear the notes that are being generated by the geometry. So it's totally based on Touch Designer development, so you don't need to actually run any type of external hardware or software to experiment with geoMusica. So that's the main goal. I actually don't recommend to use the Synth for serious production or serious research on geometrical music, because it's still very unstable and it has not much development on it, so it's more like a demonstration tool than a production tool. So on the settings you can just start exploring when it opens. You don't need to change any settings on the engine or on the synth. You can just go directly to the scene launcher, for instance, and just explore some different presets and just enjoy the actual output of the synth without actually changing anything. But if you want, and I encourage you to do that, you can experiment with the synth settings. So let's have a look at the pages that have parameters on the synth window. When you press this button here, it will bring up the synth window, and on the first page, the synth window, the setup page, you can set up your synth. So by default, it's as the audio driver. Well, that's default setting on your Windows setup, but I would recommend you to change this into ASIO driver if you have any ASIO hardware running. And and that's basically it. You can also change the address that's running the Geo engine process, but that's kind of advanced stuff for people that want to do performance with the system and want to run the engine on a different machine and stuff like that. So for now, just leave it localhost and just change to ASIO if you have any ASIO driver. Very important button here, the 12th root of 2. Well, what is it? Let's turn it on. Oh, it does nothing. What? A button that doesn't do nothing? Nah, it does something, but it's very subtle. It's subtle on these settings here, but sometimes it's not so subtle. But the thing is, if you turn this on, the frequencies that you are listening are actually being translated into equal temperament system of the Western musical system that we use currently nowadays. So that's like the 12 seminotes that we use on the keyboard of the piano. So if you want to comply geoMusica to a Western-based instrument, you should turn this on, because if you don't turn this on, it will kind of sound funny, because the frequencies, well, I'm not going to explain. You should explore, but leave it on if you are working on just geometry. Leave it off if you are working with other instruments. That will be my advice. You can also change the tuning reference of the 12 temperament, equal temperament system. That's it. Okay, so on to the synth page. On the synth page you have a TD Morph button that will bring up a TD Morph window to deal with the presets. So you have top section dedicated to the synth, bottom section dedicated to the effects. So you can, and now I'm holding control on the keyboard, so I can just snap in between these presets and pressing each one. So as you can see, there are 7 presets already for you to explore, and also 4 presets of the effects. Okay, so that's TD Morph. And then you have like this button here. It's currently under development still, so it's still a bit unstable. So leave it on if you don't have any problems. And if you start to notice that you have like some notes that are not playing or some kind of weird behavior on the synth, you can turn it off and see if it gets better. Okay, so the rest of the parameters, I'm not going to explain it. I will leave it to you to explore. All of them are audio related, audio synthesis related. I would say that because geoMusica Synth is a wavetable synth, this button here, this parameter here, it's one of the most important. I would also like to say on this tutorial that geoMusica Synth is based on the audio assets from Owen Kirby on the Touch Designer community. Thank you, Owen, for this. And yeah, just explore. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. And don't forget, press the help development button. Thank you.